Hello, this is Right Side Trader. Today is August 14th, 2026, and this is my weekly market review where I'm reviewing the S&P 500, that's SPY, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation, because as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right, let's minimize that. Let's maximize this quarterly chart and see what we see. I see green. Wow. Besides this, and we got a big green candle, all-time highs this month, and above an R1. And all-time highs, boom, 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 above R1, and nice, and looking good. I can almost get rid of my lines there where we was looking for that breakout at before. All right, but let's go ahead and go down to our monthly chart and see what we see there. Boom, boom. On this monthly chart, zoom in here a little bit here. What we can see here on this monthly chart is that we are still above the 9-10 moving average. Technically, that means we are in a bull market. We are still getting those higher lows, and we have all-time highs, so we got a higher high. We finally broke out above this area where I said we needed to get above and all for this market to start trending back to the upside, get a couple of good months maybe to the upside before we get some rest and all, but everything is looking good at this time and all. That's good. Let's go ahead and go down to our weekly chart and see what we see there. On this weekly chart, we do have a small little follow through, kind of like a big doji up there. And that's what I'm looking at here is this little candle here. It kind of seemed like it maybe did a little bit of a rest after this big week that we had the previous week. This week here didn't give us something crazy like what we got back here. We got something like this right here. So that means that things are still okay. It's just some people missed out and they're trying to hold this market down before it takes off anymore. Because right now I can see that we are above a monthly R2. Let me show you so that you see something else that's happening here. Let's see if I can bring this down, clear this up. And the other little scary thing that's also happening here, we're getting close. You can barely see back behind there is this resistance 3 level. Remember what I said about a resistance 3 level? When we get close to a resistance 3 level, this market tends to want to pull back. So again, yes, the pivots had gotten kind of tight because of the tight trading of last month. So these monthly pivots that we have here are kind of tight compared to what we've had in the past. So that resistance 3 level is closer than what you normally would see, and with it in a strong uptrend, we can blow right through that. So don't get too, crazy where you want to sell up there at that level. Just if you do, just be ready to roll your boat if you have to. That's the whole thing about that whole trading strategy. No trade recommendation there though, but it's just that some things I know that some of us do. When we start getting close to that level, and that's pretty much that on that. Let's go ahead and go down to our daily noise and wrap this on up. Zoom on in here, and you can see here on this daily picture how we are kind of like struggling now that we've got up there. We're also getting close to, like I said, let's zoom down a little bit here. And we got some round numbers that we're getting close to. And these are weekly pivots that you're looking at here. These pivots here, and this week was actually, we started out above pivot and we stayed above pivot. We didn't quite get to a resistance 1, which is okay, but kind of like usually in a good uptrend, we kind of usually would blow through a resistance 1 level, and I'll at least get closer to it than what I'm seeing at this time. No matter how wide they are, usually this market trades right up to a resistance 1. Come next week though, as you can see, since this was a pretty tight range trading week, and we will probably, if this thing continues to the upside, we will go through that resistance 1 at 780, a round number, and if we keep really going really pretty strong, we might get to where we get to a resistance 3 level come next week, because again, we're still going to be below that whole round 800 number that's a magnet for this market probably, and where we're going to really get crazy. But that's going to be probably another couple of weeks away. We're going to have to see next week, can we break our resistance 1 level? the 780 and see how close do we get to our resistance 3 level next week if this market continues on this uptrend that is in right now. It's done a pretty good rest up here this week and the last 2 weeks since it's been up here. So have they loaded up enough to actually see if this thing can spring above and take off to a resistance 3 level next week? We just got to kind of like wait and see, because I do see us opening up above pivot. So my thing is, I think we're ready. We've got to kind of just wait and see. But anything can happen. We can actually maybe even get a confirmation candle and this thing come down here and bounce off of support 1. I have to throw that in there. So again, anything can happen. That's the whole thing. But that's it. That's pretty much all I have at this time. This is Right Side Trader. Hope you guys have a great week. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you, new subscribers. And I am working on trying to put a candle pattern 2.0. And what it is, I'm going to talk more about the bullish candles and how you should be really those candle patterns, number 1. And if I didn't get that deep into them last time, I get a little bit more into it and show an additional candle pattern to kind of like throw out there too that you should keep your eyes out on when you're trading. But that's pretty much it. I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye.